The Joy Perspective, the podcast where I share life's challenges, things I've learned through years of personal development, and help others shift their perspective and find their joy. I'm Lauren Valdez, and together we'll dive into how changing the way we think can unlock possibilities, spark creativity, and transform the everyday. Let's dive in. Welcome to today's episode of The Joy Perspective. Today, I'm actually bringing you guys a little insight into what my nighttime routine looks like on most nights. Not always. I've talked about this a lot on this. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but this 15-minute nighttime routine has been a huge game changer for me. And so I want to share it with you guys. And it's very simple. It's something that you can do today before you even go to bed. So let me dive into what it is. It is actually just a routine of tidying up my space, expressing a little gratitude, and then setting the intention for the next day. So for me, I have two trigger points in my house that when I see those cluttered or messy, I could just feel the anxiety rising in me and it really bothers me. And so for me, that's like my kitchen counter spaces or my dining room table area and my bathroom counter. So when I do this, I typically try to recruit my husband. We were both doing it pretty in sync for a while. It was just like we knew before we sat on the couch to watch a show even. It was like, okay, we do our tidying real quick. So we clear off the counters. Scrubbing them down or washing them down is optional. To me, it's seeing things on them that was the big trigger for me. So I don't go the extra step always to go and wipe them down. Now, obviously, if they haven't been wiped down that day or they need to be wiped down, I do it. But it's simple. Sometimes it's less than 10 minutes. Sometimes it's as short as 3 minutes, just grabbing everything that's on it, putting those things back where those things belong, and resetting my space. When it comes to my bathroom, I use a lot of things in my bathroom. I've been trying to do really good on using a good skincare, taking care of myself. For years I didn't. And so now, I've got my eye cream here and I've got my night mask there and I've got all the little things. And so what I like to do before I go to bed or before I brush my teeth actually is to go in and just put those things back where they belong. It's simple, it's easy. And the point is when I wake up in the morning, I walk into that bathroom space and it is nice and neat. Maybe I didn't scrub it down. I didn't get any toothpaste particles. Hopefully there's none in my sink, but it happens. We're human. But I really try to make sure that space is clean. And I really want to make sure that space is calming. And what happens is when I walk into these spaces, I get this sense of calm and I get this sense of control. It took me 10 minutes the night before to clear these spaces off, but the control and the calmness that it brings me the next day has been really, really impactful. I don't start my day frustrated looking at these areas. Instead, I look at these spaces and I feel very at peace. So the second part of this routine is before bed, I want you to take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to complete all of this. So I want you to sit there and I want you to think of the things that you are grateful for. And from that day, not your whole life, right? I am so grateful for my husband and my kids and my career and all the gifts that God's given me, right? But I want you to really just think of 3 simple things that you're grateful for. Is it that you got to work while listening to your kids laugh and play on the playground? That's one that it never gets old. It never gets old for me. I love that I work from home. I love that I get to hear my kid laugh and play. I love that I get to hear their imaginative spirits. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but just, I don't know. It's the best. Is it that you actually did? This is one for me, I feel like often where I'm like, yes, I actually did that 15-minute routine or that 10-minute cleanup, and now I'm doing the other part of this routine. What small, simple things are you grateful for? I remember the other day just thinking about this, like how grateful I am that my son and I were out, and I had opened the door for us. He had come out, and then he saw there were more people coming. And so he stopped and he held the door open for them. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And then I realized what he was doing. So I love that I'm raising this kind, sweet kiddo who wanted to like pause and just hold the door open for someone. So doing these 3 gratitude things coupled with 3 things you want to achieve the next day. That's why it's 5 minutes of this quick things. So think about 3 things you're grateful for. Now think about 3 things you want to accomplish the next day. And this one, to me, you guys, it helps bring focus. It helps bring intention. It helps bring direction to my day the next day. The days that I take the time to set what I want to accomplish, and here's the key part, and by when do I want to accomplish those, are huge. And they could be very simple things. You guys, my 3 things when I laid in bed last night, okay, I wanted to cut up the sweet peppers so that when we go to SeaWorld, I can bring a healthy snack for my husband and I. When did I want to do that? Before I recorded this podcast. You guys, it's done. Okay. The second thing I wanted to do was to record this podcast. I wanted to have this ready. I wanted to do it while I was excited and passionate about it. And then the third thing I wanted to do is on the drive to SeaWorld, I want to talk to my kiddos about what they're excited about this school year, and also what are they afraid of, or what are they nervous about, or so that's it. When is all this going to be done before I even hit SeaWorld? Okay. So the whole scope of this routine, it brings you calmness, it brings you control, it brings you intention, it brings you direction, and it brings you intention. And those are things that you can achieve in just 15 minutes. It's really, really impactful and really, really powerful when you do it. And when you do it consistently, you guys, here's the one thing that I've learned. If we consistently do this routine, tidying up those spaces are actually so much easier. It's less than the 10 minutes to tidy up those spaces, because throughout the day, when I see, oh, the kids left the cereal thing on there, I just go and I put it in the pantry because I know I'm going to have to get to that, right? So this 15 minutes, it's 10 minutes to reset your space. Whatever your trigger is. I'm starting to learn that one of mine are actually the shoes not being in the shoe bins. We have 4 shoe bins. I'm like, why can't we fit our shoes in the shoe bins? And we have a shoe rack like halfway up our stairs. So why can't we fit them in there? So I'm adding that into my routine. Shoes need to go back into the shoe bins. Counters need to be cleared off, and my bathroom counters need to be put away. That's it. So what spot can you do? Then when you get into bed, and it's highly recommended you write these things down. I was really good at writing down my 3 intentions for the next day, or my 3 goals that I had for the next day. And I slightly started to deviate from that. And I started to just do like a mental note. Like last night, I didn't write it down. Instead, I just went, okay, I want to cut the peppers. I want to do the podcast, and I want to have that conversation with my kiddos. That was it. But writing things down, you do tend to follow through. It is scientifically proven, you guys, that you do tend to follow through more when you write things down. So when you're starting this out, take the time to write it down. We do have a notepad up in my bedroom, so it's really just pure laziness that I didn't just grab the notebook and write my 3 things down. Even the grateful things, writing those 3 things down. It helps cement that routine and that habit. And then I want to ask you guys this question, and I want you to be honest. Can you use some more calmness, control, and intentionality in your life? Try this out. I really want you to try this out. And if you do try this out, I want you to either connect with me on social media at Meet Lauren Valdez on Instagram, or email me, okay? meetlaurenvaldez@gmail.com. I want to know how this routine works for you. And even better, if you add something else into it. I try to keep it in 15 minutes because for me, 15 minutes is doable. It's not too long to where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could squeeze in 20 minutes. I don't know if I could squeeze in 30 minutes with kiddos and husband and work and life, right? But 15 minutes I found was really, really doable for me. And maybe you need to shorten this down to 10 minutes so you can fit everything in. But if you try this, I want you to connect with me and I want you to tell me, what kind of joy that it brought your life. Because joy doesn't always come from the big sweeping changes. Sometimes it's the small, steady rhythms of tidying up your space before you go to bed that brings out the real joy, that reminds us that we are capable, we're clear, and we can bring direction and intention to our lives.
Thank you for joining me today on The Joy Perspective. I hope this episode helped you shift your mindset and find a little bit more joy in your life. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss one. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meet Lauren Valdez for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your thoughts and connect with you. Until next time, keep shifting your perspective and finding your joy.